Have you ever felt like something inside you already knows the answer, but you can't quite hear it clearly? Like there's a quiet voice beneath all the noise, whispering, guiding, nudging you towards something greater, but it always gets drowned out by fear, stress, or distraction? That feeling isn't your imagination. That's not fantasy. That's real. And it's the voice of something powerful, something infinite, trying to reach you. You've felt it in moments of stillness, in flashes of insight, in sudden clarity that came when you least expected it. But then life takes over. The rush, the doubts, the opinions of others, the endless distractions. And the voice? It fades again, almost like a dream you can't remember. But deep down you know it's there. You've always known. There's a presence inside you that holds wisdom, purpose, and direction, far beyond what logic can explain. Some call it intuition. Others call it the higher self. But when you strip it all down, it's the voice of infinite intelligence, quiet, wise, and always available. This voice doesn't argue, it doesn't push, it waits. It speaks in silence, in gut feelings, in sudden knowing that defies explanation. And most people will go their entire lives never learning how to hear it, not because they can't, but because they never stop long enough to listen. They drown it out with doubt, with busyness, with fear of what it might say. But you're not like most people. If you're still here, still listening, it's because something in you is ready to remember the part of you that already knows the way forward, that already holds the answers, that has been speaking to you all along. What if the clarity you've been searching for isn't out there? It's in you. What if the guidance you need doesn't come from someone else, but from within? You don't need to beg for it. You don't need to chase it. You just need to learn how to recognize it, to open the space for it, to trust it. Because once you do, your life changes. You stop guessing. You start knowing. You stop fearing. You start moving. That's what this is really about. Reconnecting you with the quiet, powerful force that's always been speaking. The voice of infinite intelligence isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to listen. And the best part? Once you hear it, even just once, everything shifts. Confidence grows. Clarity sharpens. You begin to walk through life with a quiet certainty, a calm inner strength that others can feel. That's what you're about to tap into. That's why you're here. So stay with this. Because by the time you reach the end, you won't just understand the voice, you'll start to hear it. And when that happens, your life will never be the same again. If the voice is always speaking, why is it so hard to hear? Why do so many people go through life feeling lost, confused, or stuck, while something inside them already knows the path? The truth is difficult but powerful. Most people never learn to hear the voice of infinite intelligence because their minds are too crowded. The noise of the world has become louder than the signal within. Doubt, fear, worry, these are the real barriers. They're not just emotions, they're interference. They block the flow, they distort the message. When your mind is filled with fear, you start to question everything. You stop trusting your instincts, you second-guess your own judgment, and eventually you silence the most important guidance you have. Doubt convinces you that you're not ready. Fear tells you to wait. The world keeps shouting louder. But the voice of infinite intelligence never changes its volume. It doesn't compete. It doesn't force its way through. It simply waits for you to quiet everything else. Until then, it remains hidden, not because it's weak, but because it respects your free will. Every negative thought, every limiting belief, every moment you let self-doubt take the lead, it adds static. It builds walls. And you start living from your head instead of your heart. You start looking outside for answers that are already inside. That's how people lose themselves. Not in one moment, but little by little. They lose connection to the source that knows their highest path. And they wonder why things feel off, why nothing seems to fit, why no matter what they chase, it never feels quite right. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The voice hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there, calm, steady, unchanging, beneath the chaos. And the moment you begin to remove what's blocking it, even just a little, you'll feel it again. You'll sense something waking up. That's not imagination, that's real. Your intuition sharpens. Your decisions come quicker. Your mind stops spinning in circles. Because you're not just thinking anymore, you're listening. You're not just reacting, you're being guided. And that changes everything. The process is simple but not easy. It takes awareness, honesty, the courage to stop running from silence and start entering it. It means noticing the thoughts that don't serve you and releasing them. It means facing the fear that's been holding you back and choosing trust instead. Most people resist this step, but you don't have to. You're not here by accident. You're here because part of you is ready to reconnect with the truth beneath the noise. And when that connection begins, even in the smallest way, it grows, it strengthens. And soon the voice that once felt distant becomes familiar, clear, powerful. This is the turning point, the moment where you stop letting fear be your filter and start letting truth lead the way. Every distraction you remove, every fear you face, brings you closer to hearing that quiet, unmistakable voice, the one that's been waiting for you to listen. There is a state of mind that unlocks the signal, a frequency that tunes you in to that deeper wisdom. It's not found in logic or analysis. It's not created by effort or force. That frequency is faith, not blind belief, not wishful thinking, but real, unshakable trust in something greater than your fear. Faith is the bridge between your questions and your answers. It's the energy that opens the channel. When your thoughts align with faith, the voice of infinite intelligence doesn't just whisper, it begins to flow. Faith transforms the way you think, the way you act, the way you feel. It turns hesitation into movement. It turns doubt into determination. It doesn't ask you to ignore reality. It asks you to remember a deeper one. Because the truth is, you are more than the things you've been through. You are more than the limits others have placed on you. Faith reminds you of that. It activates the part of your mind that already knows you're capable, already knows you're worthy, already knows the way forward exists, even if you can't see it yet. Every time you choose faith over fear, you tune your inner signal. You become clearer, calmer, more connected. That voice inside you doesn't demand proof. It responds to belief. It responds to conviction. Not because it needs to be convinced, but because you do. Faith isn't for when things are easy. It's for when you feel lost, when the path is dark, when nothing makes sense. That's when faith becomes power. That's when the quiet voice becomes your compass. You don't have to see the entire path to take the next step. You don't need all the answers to believe in the outcome. Faith lives in action. It lives in the decision to move forward with what you know right now. You've already heard the voice before, in flashes of clarity, in moments of peace, in choices that felt exactly right. That wasn't luck. That was alignment. That was you tuning in, even for a moment, and acting from a place of inner knowing. And you can do it again. Anytime you choose faith over fear, you return to that frequency. Let that sink in. Faith is not weakness. It's not passive. It's the most powerful choice you can make. It means deciding that something inside you knows more than the noise around you. It means trusting that your future is already calling you forward, that your steps are guided by a force you can't always explain, but you can always feel. The more you trust it, the louder it becomes. Not in volume, but in certainty. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. The voice has never left you. It's just waiting for your belief to open the door. And once it does, there's no going back. There's only forward, guided, empowered, awake. That's the power of faith. That's the signal of infinite intelligence. And it's already speaking to you. Desire is not weakness. It's not selfish. It's not something to hide or suppress. Real desire, the kind that burns quietly but persistently in your soul, is a message. It's a signal. It's how infinite intelligence calls you forward. You weren't born with your dreams by accident. You didn't wake up wanting more just because you're restless. That inner pull toward something greater, more meaningful, more aligned, that is guidance in disguise. It's how the unseen speaks to the seen. It's how the formless reaches through your heart to shape your future. You must stop apologizing for wanting more. You must stop waiting for someone else to approve your hunger. That desire inside you is sacred. It is not a flaw to fix. It is a compass to follow. When your desires are true, when they are rooted in growth, purpose, and contribution, they are aligned with the deeper intelligence of life itself. And when you lean into them without shame, without fear, without hesitation, the path begins to open. You start to walk in rhythm with something far more powerful than logic. You start to live with a clarity that cuts through confusion. The mind tries to doubt desire. It tries to reduce it, delay it, explain it away. It says, "Who are you to want this? Who are you to believe it's possible?" But the truth is, who are you not to? The very presence of the desire means the seed is already in you. Infinite intelligence doesn't give you a vision without the capacity to fulfill it. You are not chasing fantasies. You are being called into alignment, into potential, into purpose. That inner longing you feel, it's not a lack, it's direction. Every time you listen to it, you step closer to the life you were born to live. Every time you ignore it, you drift further from your own truth. And that's why most people feel lost. Not because they don't have answers, but because they stopped honoring the questions. They stopped trusting their own pull. They started shrinking to fit expectations that were never meant for them. But that doesn't have to be your story. You can choose differently. You can choose to listen. When you align your desire with faith, you unlock force. Not push, not pressure, power. Quiet, unstoppable power. You move with intention. You act with certainty. You no longer beg life for permission. You begin to claim your path. And when you do, something shifts inside. You begin to feel grounded, steady, connected to a source that doesn't waver. That is the voice of infinite intelligence speaking through your desire, guiding you through your longing, calling you to rise and become more. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Don't wait for everything to make sense. If the desire is real, that's enough. Honor it, move with it, trust it. Because your desire is not the beginning of the dream, it's the proof that it's already yours. Desire speaks, but it speaks in stillness. You will never hear its full message in the noise. Infinite intelligence is not found in chaos, rush, or constant movement. It speaks through silence, through presence, through the space between your thoughts. If your mind is always filled with distractions, your heart can't be heard. And that's where most people miss it. They search for answers by doing more, pushing harder, moving faster, but the signal only grows quieter. Because the voice of infinite intelligence doesn't shout. It arrives in stillness. It waits for peace. Stillness is not emptiness. It's not the absence of thought. It's the presence of awareness. It's the moment when your mind stops racing and your soul begins to speak. In that space, truth rises, insight surfaces, direction appears. But it will never compete for your attention. You must choose to meet it. You must create the conditions for it to show up. When you learn to stop, to breathe, to listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being, you start to access something far beyond logic. You step into alignment with a deeper wisdom you've always carried. You don't need to force it. You don't need to figure everything out. You need to allow. You need to be willing to hear what's already there. The reason clarity has felt so far away is not because it doesn't exist. It's because it's been buried under layers of overthinking, doubt, and distraction. But the moment you stop chasing and start receiving, the signal clears. The voice comes through, not loud but unmistakable, not dramatic but powerful. A knowing that speaks from within, bypassing every question, every fear, every excuse. Stillness doesn't mean inaction. It means choosing where your energy goes. It means clearing away the mental clutter so you can hear the guidance you've been asking for. It's not about escaping the world. It's about tuning into something deeper while you're in it. And when you do, life begins to organize itself around your awareness. You stop reacting. You begin responding. You move with calm, deliberate focus. And that's when infinite intelligence begins to move with you. There is no substitute for stillness. There is no shortcut to inner clarity. But once you taste it, even for a moment, you realize how powerful it is. You realize that everything you've been looking for doesn't require more effort. It requires more alignment. You remember that peace is not the end of the journey. It's the foundation of it. That's where strength grows. That's where direction takes root. That's where the voice becomes clear. You already have the ability to hear it. It's not a skill to earn. It's a space to return to. The truth is already inside you, waiting. Stillness is how you remember it. And when you do, the path becomes clear. The noise fades. And all that's left is the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be, listening to the voice that never left you. Stillness opens the door, but imagination brings the message to life. Once the voice begins to rise within you, it speaks not just in thoughts, but in visions, clear images of the life you were meant to build. This is not daydreaming. This is sacred work. Imagination is the creative force of the mind aligned with infinite intelligence. It gives shape to what you've only felt. It puts form to what you've quietly believed. What you imagine with clarity and feeling is not fiction. It's the blueprint of your future calling itself into the present. You've been told to be realistic. You've been warned not to dream too big. But the truth is, realism without vision is surrender. It's a slow death of the spirit. Imagination is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's how the invisible becomes visible. It's how energy becomes reality. When you allow yourself to imagine freely, without judgment, without fear, without limits, you become a magnet for direction. You're not escaping life. You're designing it. You're aligning your energy with the life you were meant to live. The voice of infinite intelligence often comes as a picture, a moment, a feeling, a possibility that flashes across your mind and lingers. Most people ignore it. They call it wishful thinking and let it fade. But if you hold that vision, if you nourish it, if you trust it enough to keep seeing it, everything begins to change. You don't need to know how. You only need to keep the image alive, because that image, when held with belief, becomes instruction. It becomes direction. It becomes power. Your imagination isn't random. It's not an accident. It's a sacred tool, a portal, a conversation between you and the infinite. When you visualize with purpose, you activate emotional energy. You begin to feel what's possible as if it's already real. And in that feeling, the shift begins. You start to walk differently. You speak differently. You begin to move like someone who knows what's coming. That confidence, that certainty, it draws what you've imagined into your life, not through magic, but through magnetic alignment. This is why imagination must be protected. You must stop polluting your mind with doubt. You must stop watering down your vision to fit what others think is possible. The world will always try to shrink your imagination to the size of its fears. But you're not here to live in their fear. You're here to live in your truth. You're here to create what only you can see. And what you see clearly enough, for long enough, with enough belief, becomes real. Let yourself imagine boldly. Let the vision take root. Close your eyes if you have to, and see it again. The life, the freedom, the impact. See it in full color. Hear it, feel it, own it. That's not fantasy. That's instruction. Infinite intelligence is showing you what's possible. Your job is to keep the image alive until it becomes undeniable. Because what you can see, you can create. What you believe, you can become. What you imagine with faith must be reinforced with intention. The mind left unattended drifts, it forgets. It reverts to old patterns, old doubts, old voices. But when you take control of what you tell yourself, when you shape your inner dialogue with precision, you begin to reprogram the channel your mind is tuned to. The words you repeat become the thoughts you believe. The thoughts you believe become the actions you take. And the actions you take determine the life you live. This is not about surface positivity. This is about deep, deliberate reconditioning of the inner world. The voice of infinite intelligence grows clearer when your own inner voice stops contradicting it. You cannot hear truth clearly if you're constantly speaking fear. You cannot feel direction fully if your self-talk is tearing you down. Your internal language must align with the vision. It must affirm the path, not argue against it. This is why every word matters. The statements you feed your mind are either feeding your future or starving it. If you want to walk in power, you must speak in power. If you want to receive guidance, you must create mental space where that guidance can land. This is the purpose of conscious affirmation. Not empty repetition, but emotionally charged truth spoken with clarity and belief. You say it because it's who you're becoming. You repeat it because your subconscious is always listening. And once the subconscious accepts it, everything else begins to change. Confidence rises, clarity sharpens, patterns shift. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. The same energy that gave you the vision responds to the thoughts that support it. Your current mindset is not permanent. It is a program, and you are the coder. You have the power to interrupt old thought loops and replace them with conviction. You can interrupt fear with truth. You can interrupt doubt with certainty. You can interrupt hesitation with purpose. The more often you do, the easier it becomes. You're not just thinking differently, you're becoming different. You're no longer reacting to life from old beliefs. You're creating life from a higher state of awareness. Infinite intelligence flows most freely through a mind that's ready to receive. Not a mind filled with self-attack, but a mind filled with alignment. You are not here to fight yourself. You are here to align with what is already yours. Speak the vision. Declare the outcome. Own the identity of the person who hears the voice and follows it. That version of you already exists. The moment you begin to speak from that version, you invite it forward. This isn't about pretending. It's about remembering. Remembering the truth you've always known, the truth you've silenced under layers of doubt and noise, but now you know how to clear it. Now you know how to tune in. Speak life. Speak direction. Speak with intention. Because what you consistently affirm becomes what you inevitably attract. Once your words align with your vision, your actions must follow. Thought without movement creates inner conflict. You start to believe one thing but live another. That gap becomes pain. Doubt creeps back in. Confusion returns. But when your actions match the direction of your thoughts, power flows. You begin to walk in harmony with what you've imagined. Each step becomes a statement: I believe, I trust, I am becoming. This is how you build momentum, not by knowing everything, but by doing what you can with what you know now. Infinite intelligence meets you at the point of decision, not when you wait, not when you hesitate, but when you move. Movement is evidence of belief. It's proof to your subconscious that the vision matters, that the guidance you've received isn't just theory, it's real and it's happening. Every step you take, even if it's small, tells the universe you're ready. And readiness attracts opportunity. Action isn't about speed, it's about alignment. It's about choosing to embody the future before it arrives. Acting as the person who already hears the voice clearly, who already trusts the path, who already lives by inner wisdom. Procrastination is not a time problem, it's a trust problem. When you delay, you're not waiting for the right moment. You're waiting for permission. You're waiting to feel worthy. You're waiting for certainty that never comes until you move. But infinite intelligence doesn't work on human timelines. It works through flow, through faith, through momentum. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. You need to know what the next right step is, and then take it. That's how clarity builds. That's how transformation begins. You are not stuck because the path is unclear. You are stuck because you haven't moved. But the moment you do, when you act from faith, when you move with vision, when you let your steps reflect your inner truth, the voice grows stronger. Because action clears resistance. It silences doubt. It grounds your belief into the physical world. Suddenly, you're no longer just thinking differently, you're living differently. And the world responds to that. Doors open. People show up. Resources appear. Not by chance, but by resonance. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is a decision, not a feeling. You decide to act, and then the courage follows. You decide to move, and then the way appears. That's the rhythm of infinite intelligence. It doesn't flood you with answers. It gives you just enough to take the next step. And if you take it, the next one comes. One decision at a time, you build the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Let your movement become your message. Let your actions reflect your belief. You're not chasing the vision anymore, you're walking inside it. And every time you move forward in trust, you prove to yourself that the voice was right all along. You were never waiting on life. Life was waiting on you. Action is powerful, but action without persistence is fragile. The moment you begin to move, resistance will rise, not because you're wrong, but because you're growing. Every shift in your life will test your belief. Every step forward will challenge the strength of your decision. And this is where most people turn back. They mistake resistance for a sign to stop, when in truth it's the invitation to rise. Infinite intelligence never promised ease. It promised alignment. And alignment doesn't eliminate obstacles. It gives you the strength to pass through them. You will be tested, not to break you, but to prove to you that you've already been built for more. The vision you hold isn't just a dream, It's a demand on your character. It asks for your resilience. It asks for your commitment. It asks if you'll keep going when the path feels steep, when the voices around you say to quit, when the results don't show up fast enough. Persistence is what separates those who wish from those who become. It is the refusal to abandon what you've seen, even when what you see now looks nothing like it. Your mind may try to convince you that slow progress means failure, but that's a lie. The voice of infinite intelligence doesn't care how fast you move. It cares how deeply you trust. It speaks to those who continue, who endure, who show up again and again, even when no one is watching, even when it feels like nothing is changing. That is where the shift happens, deep in the invisible, where habits are rewired, where belief is hardened, where alignment becomes identity. You are not here to visit your potential, you are here to live it. And that means persistence must become your rhythm, not fueled by pressure, but by power. The power of knowing this is who you are now. This is what you do now. You listen, you trust, you act, and you continue. When it's uncomfortable, you continue. When it's uncertain, you continue. Because the alternative is to retreat, to shrink, to forget. And you didn't come this far just to turn back. You are being sculpted by the process. Each day you choose to keep going, you are becoming more aligned, more focused, more unstoppable. That's not just discipline, it's transformation. You are not just doing hard things. You are becoming someone who no longer fears difficulty. Someone who doesn't need to see instant results to stay committed. Someone who walks in faith, not just talks about it. That is who the voice speaks to. That is who the voice leads. Let every challenge strengthen your clarity. Let every delay sharpen your focus. You're not off track, you're being refined. Stay with it. Stay anchored. Stay true to the inner voice that called you here. The world may not see your growth yet, but the voice does. It knows who you are becoming. Keep showing up. Keep saying yes. Keep walking forward. Your persistence is the proof that the vision is real. The path will not always be clear. There will be moments when you feel unsure, when doubt creeps in, and when the vision seems distant. That's part of the process. It is not a signal that you're on the wrong path, but rather a test of your trust. Trust isn't earned when everything goes as planned. It's forged in the fire of uncertainty. It's easy to trust when the path is smooth, but true faith is built when the road is rocky, when the horizon is hidden, and when the world tells you to stop. That's when you must dig deeper. That's when the voice grows stronger, if you let it. Doubt does not have to be your enemy. It doesn't have to derail you. Instead, it can become a signal that you're on the edge of something bigger. It's not a sign to quit. It's a sign to go further, to push past the comfort of what you already know and into the unknown territory of your fullest potential. When doubt rises, let it fuel you, not hinder you. Let it sharpen your determination. Let it remind you that every great transformation requires moments of discomfort. The greater the challenge, the greater the opportunity for growth. When the voice feels distant, don't retreat. Don't pull back. Instead, go within, reflect, reconnect. The moments when you feel disconnected are often the moments that precede the greatest breakthroughs. Infinite intelligence never leaves you. It doesn't withdraw. But you must choose to return to it when the world starts to pull you away. The work you're doing is not just external, it's internal. It's about reprogramming your subconscious, shifting your mindset, and committing to the truth you are now living. It's about turning every obstacle into an opportunity for inner alignment. You will be tested again and again, not because you're not enough, but because you are enough. The world will challenge you to rise to the person you are becoming. It will force you to confront your deepest fears, your hidden doubts, and your limiting beliefs. But you are ready. The challenges you face now are the ones you've been preparing for your entire life. You've already built the resilience, the strength, and the belief to handle them. You simply have to trust that everything you've been through has led you to this moment, and that what you face now is just the final step before the breakthrough. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to question whether you're truly on the right path, but this feeling is just the final test. It is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of progress. You are becoming someone who no longer hesitates in the face of fear. You are becoming someone who no longer lets doubt dictate your actions. You are becoming someone who walks forward with unwavering trust in the voice guiding you. Each challenge you face, each fear you conquer, brings you closer to the version of yourself that's already been waiting to emerge. So when the resistance comes, when the doubts return, remember, it's not a barrier, it's an invitation to stand taller, to trust deeper, and to walk further into the life you've always been destined to create. You have everything you need to succeed right now. The only thing that stands between where you are and where you want to be is your belief in your own power. The voice of infinite intelligence is not external. It is internal, waiting for you to recognize it, trust it, and act on it. This power does not need to be earned. It's yours by virtue of your very existence. The reason it feels so elusive at times is because you've been conditioned to look for answers outside of yourself. But the truth is, everything you need has always been inside you. The power to create the life you desire is built on the foundation of trust, not just in the process, but in yourself. Self-doubt is the greatest barrier you will face, but it is not an insurmountable one. It is an illusion. You have been taught to question your own worth, your own vision, your own capabilities, and in that questioning, you've distanced yourself from your true power. But it's time to return to your roots, to remember that you were born with the ability to create, to manifest, to succeed. You are worthy of the life you imagine, and the moment you fully accept that, everything begins to shift. You have the ability to choose. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the creator of your circumstances. The voice of infinite intelligence does not tell you what to do. It gives you the guidance, the inspiration, and the energy to do it yourself. It whispers in your ear not to direct your path, but to light your way. It illuminates your potential so that you can walk forward in certainty, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. This is your birthright, to live fully, to live fearlessly, to live in alignment with your highest self. The moment you believe that, you unlock a power within you that is unstoppable. It is time to stop waiting for permission. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone, not even yourself. The only thing you need to prove is your willingness to trust. Trust in the voice that has always been there. Trust that every step forward is moving you toward a version of yourself that is already prepared for success. Trust that when you listen, when you follow, when you move in alignment with your truth, the universe will support you. It will meet you every step of the way, not because you are special, but because you are in tune with the flow of creation itself. Stop searching for external validation. The validation you seek is already within you. It always has been. The opinions of others are irrelevant. Their fears, their doubts, their limitations, they do not define you. The voice you hear within, the vision you carry, that is what defines you. That is what will guide you. That is what will create your reality. Trust in it, believe in it, live by it. This is your moment to step fully into your power, to stop questioning your worth, your abilities, and your vision. You have already been given everything you need. Now it's time to act. It's time to trust yourself. It's time to believe in the infinite potential that exists within you. You were meant for more, and the world is waiting for you to show up as the person you were always meant to be. You must begin to see yourself as the person you are becoming. Your external world is simply a reflection of your inner world. And if you continue to see yourself as unworthy or incapable, that is exactly what you will experience. But when you change the way you view yourself, everything around you shifts. The voice of infinite intelligence will not speak to someone who doubts their ability to receive it. It speaks to those who believe that they are worthy, who know deep down that they are destined for greatness, and who are ready to act on that belief. When you stop questioning your value, when you stop waiting for someone else to validate your existence, that is when the floodgates open. You become unstoppable. You become magnetic. You attract everything you need to bring your vision to life. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic. Perfection is an illusion that keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear and procrastination. You are not meant to wait for the perfect moment. You are meant to embrace the moment you have right now and make the most of it. Your journey is not about flawless execution. It's about unwavering trust and persistent action. It's about showing up every single day, even when the results aren't immediately visible, and continuing to believe that you are exactly where you need to be. Each step, each choice, each action is a part of the greater plan unfolding. It may not always look the way you imagined, but that is the beauty of the process. The twists, the turns, the challenges, they are all guiding you to where you need to be. When you fully commit to this path, when you decide to live as though your vision is already manifested, you will begin to notice the changes. You will see the opportunities you've been blind to before. You will feel the synchronicities aligning. You will experience the quiet nudges from within guiding you toward the next step. But none of this happens if you continue to doubt yourself, if you continue to hold on to the belief that you are not ready or that you are not good enough. The truth is that you are more than ready. You have always been ready. You just needed to trust that the voice inside of you was real, that the vision inside of you was possible, and that you were worthy of stepping into it. The journey will never be without obstacles. There will always be moments that test your resolve, that challenge your belief. But each obstacle is not a punishment, it's an invitation to rise higher, to deepen your trust, to grow stronger. With every challenge you overcome, you become more of the person you need to be to achieve the life you desire. There are no setbacks, only setups for something greater. Every time you stand firm in the face of adversity, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. The more you step into your power, the more the universe will conspire to support you. Your success isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become in the process. You are evolving into the person who already possesses everything you need to manifest your dreams. Trust that everything you've experienced has brought you to this moment, and that you are more than ready to rise. The future you are stepping into is waiting, and it is beyond your wildest dreams. The only thing left to do is to believe that you deserve it, because you do. Your dreams are not a distant fantasy. They are a tangible reality waiting for you to claim them. But to claim them, you must first believe in your worthiness. The truth is, you were born with everything you need to achieve greatness. It is not some distant prize to be earned, but a state of being to be awakened. The only thing standing between you and your vision is your belief that it is possible. If you truly believed in your own power, in your own potential, you would already be living that vision. It's time to break free from the chains of self-doubt and start stepping into the version of you that has always existed, waiting patiently for you to recognize it. You are not someone who has to work hard to become worthy. You are already worthy, and that worthiness is the foundation on which your success is built. Stop measuring yourself against others. Your path is uniquely yours, and it has always been designed for you. Comparison will only distract you from the infinite power that lies within you. The world has its own timeline, its own way of doing things, but yours is different. You don't need to keep up with anyone else, because the moment you stop looking outside of yourself is the moment you start truly living. You are on your own journey, and it is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Trust that every twist, every turn, and every delay is a part of your personal transformation. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world, to be influenced by what others are doing and how quickly they are achieving success. But remember, the voice of infinite intelligence speaks to those who are willing to listen, not to those who are constantly comparing and doubting. Every second you spend looking outward, you lose a piece of the inner power that is trying to guide you. When you turn inward, when you stop seeking external validation, you will hear the voice clearly. It's already inside you, waiting for you to quiet the distractions and trust in your own strength. Your journey is about trust, not just in the process, but in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You will face challenges. You will face moments of doubt, of fear, of uncertainty. But they are not signs to stop. They are invitations to grow. Every challenge is an opportunity to reinforce your trust in yourself. The more you push through these moments, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling anything life throws at you. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you know. And each day you continue to take action, despite the fear or uncertainty, you grow closer to the person you are becoming. Success is not a destination. It is a process, a journey. And the moment you realize that the journey itself is where the power lies, you begin to move forward with a new kind of confidence. You stop worrying about the end result, and you start focusing on the growth that happens in each step. The moment you stop looking for shortcuts and start embracing the process as it is, you step into your full power. You are already becoming the person you are destined to be. You just need to trust that every moment is leading you exactly where you need to go. Keep moving forward, keep believing, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes.